Howdy and welcome. You are listening to A Mom's Guide to Wine, a guided wine tasting with candid reflections on motherhood. Here we spill the tea, but never the wine. We are your host, Eliza James.
And Rosie Gold.
And we are so glad you joined us for today's tasting adventure.
Full disclosure, for those with little ears around, 90% of our topics and language will be more on the R rating scale. Also, we are not professionals or experts. We are simply sharing our experiences and including some Google searches for support. We are amateur wine enthusiasts and professional moms. That is our skill set.
But first, the wine. Today's wine is from Messina Hof Winery that is located in Texas, following our Texas wine themed. This one is a Riesling or Riesling, depending on how you like to pronounce it.
Beautiful blue bottle.
It is gorgeous. Like, it comes in this beautiful blue bottle. It's a screw top lid, so no professional equipment required. You could take this on a picnic with you and pack it up to go.
It's a petite bottle.
It is very tiny. It's tall. It is taller than some other bottles. Like, I couldn't stand it up in the fridge. So I recommend having this one cold because it's a Riesling. I like my Rieslings cold. Some people like them at room temperature. I don't know how you do that. Personally, I think it helps bring out the flavor better. But this is the Angel Riesling from Messina Hof. Beautiful bottle. So, Messina Hof says that this wine is named for its angelic sweetness and in honor of the angels that are carved into the stone on the front of the Messina Hof Winery estate. The Messina Hof's Rieslings have won over 200 awards since 1986, with their angel winning more than any of their other Rieslings. And it's one of the earliest wines that was crafted by the Messina Hof founder, Paul Vincent and Meryl Bonarigo. The first vintage was released in 1984. That's only a few years before
Let's be nice.
Entry.
Let's be nice.
In 1990, Angel became the first Texas wine to score a 90 on the Wine Spectre, so that's pretty cool. And the grapes for Angel are harvested from the last pick of the Riesling when the grapes are like raisins. So we should notice flavors of apple, pear, and honey. And they also said that the Angel should pair well with fruit, cheesecake, and light chocolate desserts. So today we brought different fruits for us to kind of nibble on in between our talking. We've got some strawberries, some apples, and it looks like some pineapple.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So, we're going to open this bottle for y'all. Like I said, it's a screw top, so I did not have to bring out any of my fancy wine bottling opens. It's a blue label on the top, and the bottle is blue. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to show y'all pictures of it. So, here we go. That's it. That's all it takes to open that bottle. I think it's going to be very tasty. So, I'm very biased when it comes to Messina Hof Winery. I love them. I go there a lot more than my husband would probably like.
Sounds like someone's peeing on the mic.
That's not what we're doing. We're pouring glasses, I swear to God.
Promise.
But let's smell it. It almost doesn't have a scent at all.
I know.
It's so light.
Very subtle.
You can't smell it.
I'm spinning it. Where are those legs at?
Oh my gosh. That's much sweeter than I anticipated. It's sweet.
Wow.
It's really sweet, y'all.
This is definitely for dessert. This is after dinner, long day.
Yep, I just need to unwind. Give me this and a bowl of chocolates.
Before I have to deal with bath time.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Hell, even after
it's a really pretty color. It's very golden.
It is. It's quite see-through. There's nothing floating in it. It is sealed well. So, also on this bottle, I'll read y'all real quick. It says that it is produced and bottled in Bryan, Texas, and it is 19% alcohol. They do recommend you serve it at 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, I didn't check that. I put it in my fridge and hoped for the best and only brought it out just before we decided to pop the top. So, it's going to sit here at room temperature while we drink it, and hopefully it'll be
fine. But the more you drink, the better it'll be, right?
Yeah, and they said it's a crisp, sweet dessert wine. So, I definitely agree with that.
The lingering taste, I can really taste the honey.
Yeah, it definitely has a honey flavor to it. You can tell it's got a honey finish to it. I would call that the finish. I would definitely think it is a honey finish. But very clear and definitely like a light yellow. Mm-hmm. It's lovely. It tastes lovely.
Picked by the angels.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. I'm going to enjoy drinking this one. And hopefully we don't finish the bottle on air because that's awkward. Our language will get worse. And
Mine's always bad.
And words will become harder. Like,
yes.
It's just a fact. So today in season 1, Mom's Guide to Wine, we're going pick it now, pick it right, picking your OBGYN. I was going to use the fancy term like obstetrics, but I figured once I get the wine in me, those words are going to go out. So we've abbreviated, guys, and I apologize. I actually probably saved y'all the heartache of having to listen to us, like, dramatically try to save these words that we obviously cannot say.
No.
So,
but again,
OBGYN.
We're not experts in anything but momming.
Nope. No, and I'm so sorry. So, picking your OBGYN.
And sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be an OBGYN.
Well,
because some family practitioners can do some of the things that you might be looking to get done.
And so that's something I didn't know. Apparently, a lot of family practitioners do a lot of the same things that your OBGYN could do, just maybe not on the same level.
Yes, and definitely not during pregnancy. So they won't. They'll definitely pass you on to the OBGYN.
Yeah, you're going to want a professional if that's the case, and that's all they do, right? They deal in babies, annual checkups, boobies,
STD checks,
STDs,
anemia,
that, and also once you've reached the menopause stage, which is, I hear it's not fun. Neither of us are there yet, but
no, not quite.
Our time's a coming.
It is.
The clock's a ticking. The clock's a ticking. So, your OBGYN visit, just know it is going to be super awkward, super cold.
It's always awkward. And stop making it more awkward. Like, no. That doctor has seen a lot of the exact same thing.
Absolutely. And what is awkward for you is not awkward for them. They look at 100 vaginas a day. You're good.
But if you say things like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have done more, that's going to make it more awkward.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
It's not necessary. They don't care if you've got a forest or a landing strip or you're all bare.
They might care if you got a bird flying out of that forest.
Yeah, don't have birds in there. Pro-life tip, no birds in vaginas. But just know you are going to be hanging off that table. It looks just like it does in the movies, right? Your feet are up in the stirrups. You got the sheet on you. You're wearing those terrible, like, I call them the hospital gowns. They're open in the back when you're in the hospital, and not when you go to your OBGYN. They totally make you open them to the front. And that's so everything is easy access, right? They need access to your breasts, and they need access to your vagina. And if the gown's open to the back, they can't access. Well, I guess they could access your vagina,
you don't tie
still,
it.
But not your breast.
If you're don't tie it. Don't tie it, because then you can't stretch the cloth to where they can get your legs spread.
Yep, just awkwardly hold it together. They've seen it all. They don't care. Trust me on this one.
It's literally their job.
Literally their job. So, how are we going to find the perfect OBGYN for you? So, a lot of instances, you can call your insurance company just to see who's available, right? Because we all have different insurance companies. We all live in different areas. Each state, each county, each parish, if you're in Louisiana, by the way, they all have different rules and regulations. And so you want to make sure you're following your insurance's rules and regulations.
And many of the insurance companies now have websites and apps, if you're good at that kind of thing. And you can actually look up different doctors, if it's a genre of doctor you need, or even procedures. So if your family practitioner has been doing your pap smears, but now you're pregnant and now you need an OBGYN, so maybe you just look up birth.
It's that simple. Like, seriously, It's that simple.
And sometimes it'll even tell you what costs you might have at a local hospital. So you say, oh, at this hospital, it's $2,000 on average for you to have a baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then that's in like a new thing is a lot of hospitals are going to posting how much does this cost for any procedure. And I don't know if it's like a new law. For some reason, I felt like it was, and I honestly should have researched it, and I did not. I apologize in advance. It might be in our notes later. But just know that it's a thing that a lot of places will post how much things cost. So you can also ask your friends, right? Because surely you have friends that live near you that might have insurance similar to yours. Coworkers are actually going to be your best bet. As awkward as it is, going to, I don't know, the lady across the hall from you and being like, who is your OBGYN? They're generally willing to help. It's awkward, right? Like asking these questions, but you have the same insurance. So
it's also how we built our friendship. A lot of it.
Yeah, was just asking each other questions like, hey, what do you do for this? Well, what do you do for this? Well, what do you do for... Anyway, I digress. But ask those coworkers those questions. It doesn't even have to be your OBGYN. I'm throwing that out there because that's our topic of discussion today. But
it could be dentist.
It could be dentist. Oh my God, we just recently had a big issue with my husband and his dentist, and a dentist office wanting to charge him an outrageous sum to have a tooth pulled, even though they told him he needed that tooth pulled. And then they tried to sell him additional insurance, which is not cool. And we literally looked up our insurance, found that they actually do cover tooth extractions, by the way. And then called somebody who that's all they do is like oral surgery. Was an oral surgeon is who we went to. And had his tooth pulled for, I can't even say nearly a fraction of the price because it didn't even match.
Right.
Like we're talking thousands versus a couple of hundred.
Right.
Like, it was ridiculous. So, call, ask those questions. And we wouldn't have figured that out if we hadn't gone online, but we literally probably could have asked any of our coworkers and been like, hey, who do you go to see for a dentist? Yeah. Who cleans your teeth? Which is what I'm going to have to do now because I obviously can't go back to the dentist office that tried to ream my husband. So, that's fun. So, I'm going to have to see who everybody else sees for that.
But family members can help. Also, if you're getting insurance through your job, reach out to your HR representative. Talk about the benefits when the opening happens for like a month when you can change up what your insurance is. Talk to them. Ask them, what do other people do? What is the benefits? And if you're choosing between like PPO versus HMO?
Yeah,
then your HR representative might be able to help in narrowing down what your needs are specific to you. So use your resources that you have.
Yeah, that's their whole job, is to help you in your job be the best employee you can be, and you cannot be that best employee you can be if you're not asking those questions. And that applies to men too, right? Like, I know there's a lot of stay-at-home ladies that are taking care of things, and the husbands have the insurance through work or whatever. Y'all make those husbands go ask those tough questions because they need to be asked. That's the whole purpose of HR, is to answer those questions about, hey, what am I doing? Where should I go? So make sure you're doing that. You also, when you're picking your OBGYN, you need to think about what is the purpose of this physician, right? Like, why am I going to an OBGYN? Most people associate them with pregnancy. That's cool. They're also your regular checkup. They're also your first line of defense against breast cancer. And they're also your best bet for when we hit that menopausal stage, right? Because there's so much that comes with that. Hormones.
And no one tells you anything about what types of symptoms you're going to have.
Absolutely. And
so that person can talk to you about it.
Yeah. And you need to keep that in mind when you're going to this new physician, your new OBGYN particularly, that when you walk into that office space where they're going to do your exam, it has everything. It has everything in there.
So many pamphlets.
And it's a little overwhelming. Sometimes there's like full-out diagrams.
And sometimes there's really funny memes. Oh, like condoms prevent minivans. That's funny.
Yeah. So you got one with a sense of humor, you're going to get some really great laughs out of it. But yes, they should have... It's going to feel like it does on the TV, right? They got the stirrups. Some places they pop them in like just before they do your checkup. But most of the time you walk in,
they're out all the time. And the little scope, the little like light that like wields around and then like directly aims at your vagina, that's out all the time. And sometimes on all the time. Mine one really fun is that they have like little quilted, I don't know if there's like a nurse that just gets a good kick out of this, but they